Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pucking Mad podcast. Today we're joined by Thomas Brown or Tom Brown, whatever you prefer, from the Billingham Stars. Thomas, would you like to introduce yourself, maybe?
Um, yeah, of course. I'm sure most people know me a bit by now, but obviously my name's Tom Brown. I'm young. I'm 23 years old. Grew up playing ice hockey in Canada. Recently moved back with my family because my mom was English. Um, I played out in Whitley for a bit, so I played a year in Whitley. So when I originally came over, I skated I skated with a few teams. So I think it was so we moved in August 2017, and I visited the May prior. So I was at a few teams. I believe Solway was supposed to be one of them. Actually, I was supposed to skate with. But my first team was Whitley, so I skated with Whitley. I skated a couple training sessions with Whitley, and me and my mom kind of had a chat about it. Based on where we were living, where we were going to live, and how easy it would be. What's the likely team to go to? So I ended up deciding that I was just going to stay in Whitley and play a year in Whitley. So I played a year in Whitley, played with U20s. We had quite a successful year. We were unfortunate not to go to playoffs because they were only taking the first place from our league, and I think it was the first from Scottish league. So a bit unlucky, but after my season, it was a good season. After my original season there, I came down to Billingham. Part of the reason Dad moved over, he moved over from Canada to coach Billingham. Obviously, I live about 15 minutes away from Billingham's rink, so based on location and my mom working and whatnot, and Dad being closer to help out, I came back to Billingham. So pretty much been here ever since. But I played pretty much every level you can play at in Canada. Growing up as a young person, when I was young, I played rep hockey. It's kind of just like it depends on the area, just with the local teams and everything. You have a rep team. Players will try out. If you make the rep team, you play rep. And then there's a local team as well, just like a local league type of team. So I played rep for a few years. Won a few championships. A big thing over there. So in our league, it's known as the OMHA, so the Ontario Minor Hockey Association. So our playoffs go into OMHA playoffs, shall we call it? And 3 years running, we lost in the final game the first year, which was quite upsetting. Won it the second year in the final game, and then finally my third year we had a really strong team. I think Dad was the coach. We had a lot of good players. Obviously, we played together for a long time, so we kind of I wouldn't say ran away with it, but we did the business. We swept the first two rounds, went 1-4 in the semifinals against the team that beat us the first time we were there in the finals, and then we swept the finals as well. So we were quite a good team. Then I moved up. To play single A at another place about half an hour away from where I used to live, just to test myself a bit. So I played there. I played there for 2 years, as well as I played junior C as well with Stainer Siskins. So I was going back and forth between the teams. And then my cousin's he's grown up playing AAA over there his whole life. So in the off season, about in spring or summertime, they put on like these big AAA tournaments, and they get all the AAA players and the draft picks together to do these tournaments. And one of their goalies went down, so they asked my cousin asked, "Hey, do you want to do it?" So obviously, I was more than happy to, because me and him have always wanted to play on a team together. So we did that, and the 2 times we did that, we won both times, which is good. So, and then throughout the summers, I would go to the Barry Colts camp. So their OHL team. So it's an elite camp for all the young best players. So I pretty much skated there every summer since I was 10. And when I was 15, I was invited to their showcase, which is their draft picks and prospects, and they play in front of coaches and scouts and everything. So I did that for 3 years. And the third year, when they were actually looking to take me to main camp, was when we were moving over here. So I ended up coming over here, and it was after my first season in Whitley, actually, so it was all right. So I played for England. Then I went back and I skated on the showcase. And then that when they were looking to take me to main camp, it was just difficult. I was coming back here anyway. So, but in a brief nutshell, that's pretty much my hockey career. I've been playing in Billingham ever since. So That's been quite good. Sorry, I've been rambling there, but yeah, it was quite good.
To be honest, that's not bad. I mean, for a young player to have had that much experience and to have played kind of, I suppose there are benefits to being, playing it in the UK as well. Maybe, the action playing first team as well can be quite useful. I mean, what would you say is or what are the things that need to be introduced in the UK to help the GB kind of system improve? If you're looking at, you've had a lot of experience.
Yeah. Well, thinking about it, I mean, obviously things are a bit different over there. There's obviously a lot of money into it, but there's a lot of different levels you can do. So you got AAA, AA, single A. Obviously, if you play AAA, they have their OHL draft where kids, if you're 15, you play what is called minor midget, and then you get into a draft for like OHL teams, like big teams. I think the one thing here is it's the age gap. It's probably the age gap, I would have to say. So I don't think there's a U20 league anymore. I thought a U20 league was useful because it was around when I was playing it. It's just it's a big jump for young kids coming out of U18 to go straight to men's, if that's even an option. Obviously, there's not as many teams as there is over there, so there isn't as many options for the kids that want to move up and play. The system, there's a few things that can be done, but I don't mind the system as it is either, because over there you play junior, so you play junior C, junior B, junior A, and once your junior career is over, that's kind of it. Where over here you can progress on the men's hockey. Over there, it's like if you don't get drafted, people kind of just like don't think you're any good, which is not really it's not really true. There's just so many kids over there. So I do like the aspect of how you can go straight into men's hockey, semi-professional, professional, whatever it is. It's a much easier pathway for someone like myself coming overseas. Obviously, I'm a British citizen and everything. I got a reclass because I played 2 years here. So I think I see a lot of things with the Elite League. I think if the Elite League and the IHA was to collaborate more and focus more on developing these British pathways for, like, say, young Brits and whatnot. You'd be quite surprised how many good players they would produce. Because when I look at the talent wise, we're not far off. When I look at our U20 team, which would be a world junior team if they can get to the top flight, they're not far off. I think they've won silver the past few times. So I think it would speed up development if they could collaborate more. But I've heard a lot of things about the Elite League and whatnot. But I kind of just try and keep my head down and just try and focus on my career. Obviously, I'd like to see British ice hockey expand, but I think collaboration with the Elite League would probably help the most, and getting British players on those ice. That would help the most.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. It seems like a strange thing, but I think it's just a weird stage that British hockey's at with the Elite League. Imports are such an important thing because of the stage.
Of course.
How do we go from there? And the answer, I don't know. It's difficult, But yeah,
maybe because Canada and America, they'll put on showcase for all their best players. So I think we used to do like something similar, maybe like England versus Scotland, which would get all the best young players from England and Scotland and showcase it. They do a lot of showcases over there. They do OHL showcase for the young ones. Then they put on big prospect tournaments and everything just to get the players out there so teams and scouts can see. Like the showcase I was doing, for example, in the summertime with the Colts. It's not just the Colts that are there. You get NHL scouts, AHL scouts. You get all junior scouts, junior A, junior C, junior B scouts. I think the last time I was there was a Columbus Blue Jacket scout. He was out watching as well. So a lot of maybe more showcase for the top talent would help. I know the England teams have been a bit they've been a bit inconsistent with putting it on, but I think if they could find a way to get consistency, even if they play Scotland in just a big showcase tournament, it would help showcase the British talent, because there's a lot of talented kids over here. I've played against a lot of kids right now that have talent, that when I look at it, like it's like a Canadian, almost American talent, the way they move, the way they play, their IQ. So the talent is here. That's just not as many kids. And I think if you could find like a way to showcase it, like a big showcase game to showcase these kids, then they would be quite surprised with what they can produce. I know Kieran Brown's he's an outstanding hockey player. Solway's got a lot of good young players. I'm pretty sure it's Johnny McBean. I seen the move he pulled off the other night. I know he was quite an impactful player for GB. So guys like that, really good hockey players. Like we have these players in these countries that can compete against these best good guys in the world. We just need more of a showcase, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting thing to hear, particularly as a sport that's developing so quickly in the UK. What about personally for you? Obviously, you played in Canada. How does that influence like what you want from your career? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to end up? Or
so my goals have kind of always been the same since I was a little boy. I want to take this all the way. I want to do as much as I possibly can with it. The big difference over there is they look for goals. So obviously I'm not the tallest goalie in the world. I'm about 5'10" off skates, so I'm not a huge goalie. They look for goalies that are like 6'1", 6'2" over there. So it doesn't matter really how good you are. They're going to go for the bigger guys, which I don't always really agree with, because the bigger guys don't have, I wouldn't say they would have the same skill set, or it's very rare, but they're just big and they could take up these spaces. Where someone small like me, I've kind of had to mold my game around my positioning, my angling, my quickness, and able to get across to make up for me not being 6'2" or whatever it is. So I find over here they don't really care about that type of stuff, because a lot of goalies I see are more around my size in this league and the league above and such. So I don't see tremendously big goalies over here. It's not really about how big you are. It's the skill over here, which is I do like. Obviously, it's something I've kind of always done. I've worked one of my goalie coach that I've worked with for about 7 years before I came over. So obviously I was 17 when I moved here. So since I was 10, he was the goalie coach with Barry Colts at the time. But a couple years, 2 years before I left, he got a job with the Vegas Golden Knights. So as it stands right now, he's their head goaltending coach. So his name's Mike Rizzotti, and the type of goalies I've been trained with. So he used to have a small private goalie school, the select group of goalies. I've been coached with Jake Gingham. He was LA Kings draft pick. I've had guys, Mike Scheifele, Aaron Ekblad, Brendan Lemieux. These are the type of guys that I've had growing up shooting on me. I've played with a lot of good keepers and whatnot. I've seen a lot of good goalies. Another LA Kings draft pick was out there. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the type of guys I've been training with, college players were out shooting. So I kind of got a pretty good idea what it takes to do it. Obviously, I just got to try, and like I said, I just got to try and keep my head down and work really hard. But I'm able to do what I can do now because of the goalie coach I've had. And I do see that difference when I'm over here. But yeah, my career is to go all the way. Obviously, every level I have to win trophies. I spoke a bit about it. I won a lot over there. I'm 23, but I have a tremendous amount of championship experience. I like when, what can I say? I like winning trophies. That's what I like to do. So that's my goal every single season, is to win. I want to come in. I want to win. I want to grind. I want to be the best. I want to be the #1 goalie every year. That is my motivation. That is my goal. I just want to be the best of me I possibly can be. And hopefully, as it stands right now, with the team I'm on, kind of set up hopefully to maybe get something out of this year. And I just want to be consistent. So yeah, my goal is just to do it. Just I want to go pro. That's the idea. I want to win at every level. So I want to settle into each league, which I've done the past few years. Be consistent, put up good numbers, be a top goalie, and then move up. Do the same and move up, and that's kind of just my idea. But currently it's just winning trophies. Whatever team I'm on, help that team win trophies no matter the cost. So it's kind of my mindset with things.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's really cool to hear that. Well, it sounds like a plug, but it does tie in. I promise. Is in this podcast I did with Martin, that's being released on Friday. If anyone's interested, he spoke about ice time for younger players. It's just crucial, yes. And he said that a lot of players, they feel like, oh, they want to be in the highest league at your age and playing in the highest league, and even if only playing 1 or 2 games a season.
Mm-hmm.
He believes that that's just not the way forward. Mm-hmm. You have to be playing, even if you're at the lower league, you have to be playing day in, day out, and that's quite an interesting prospect and quite an interesting thing. And it's interesting that a player like yourself is thinking, oh well, like in the UK now, it is that manner to go pro. there's a pathway in place, or there's a possibility of doing hard work.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's a really cool thing to hear. With obviously where you are now with Billingham, 8-1 last weekend against Widnes, which I mean is a very good result, I'd say.
Yeah.
The board. How's the feeling in the camp? Is it high? Is it how do you feel the guys are at the moment?
Yeah, everything's really great with us. I have to say before I continue on, I agree with everything Mark Rupp said. You got to play at the end of the day, and that's obviously Billingham's allowed me to play, but I completely agree because I see a lot of guys try and rush it, play a game or two, drop down again, and once you drop down, you won't. It's not a good rep. Teams won't take you again. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So I completely agree with what he says, and that's the right thing. And that to me is why I've wanted. Because down here, I'm 100% starter. If I'm to move up, I'm going to start. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit on the bench. I see it pointless. What's the point of sitting on the bench when I can just constantly play? So I agree with everything Martin Grubb says. He knows what he's talking about. I regard him as one of the best coaches in the country. So, but yeah, you got to play. With us though, it's been quite an interesting ride with Billingham, and it goes back to the start of last season when everyone thought we were just going to get run over. A lot of people were saying we're not even going to win a game, and obviously I'm hearing all this, and to me it's like, well, I don't play to lose, so, and I know the guys in that room aren't going to play to lose either, so that kind of gave us that motivation to go out and be like, hey, we got a young team, but just because we got a young team, we still got the few vets that are really good vets. We've got our main core of vets to play. And the more the year went on, the more we picked up, the more the team started to get to know each other, started to gel. We started upsetting teams. We started winning games. And then quarterfinals, big ups. We pulled a big upset against Widnes. No one thought we were going to win. But we knew we had a great chance. We had to make the game in Billingham count because we were home first, and we did just that, and we held on down in Widnes. So even the semifinals, we got Solway, and I think for the most part, it was only 4-2 after the second. So it's not like we were getting run over or blown away. I think we finished sixth, but we weren't playing like a 6-seed team. Now, moving on to this season, after doing what we did last season, how close we actually came to making it all the way, our only goal is to win. Right, we're going to win. We want to win trophies. It might not be the league, but our goal is to try and get that North Cup, try and get playoffs. To me, I've never played where you win leagues. So to me, playoffs is the real thing. That's my goal. I know everyone likes to win the league, but the league doesn't really, in my opinion, personal opinion, the league doesn't bother. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't really matter. Playoffs is where it counts. And that's the funnest time of the year. Those are the big trophies to me. So obviously this year we're coming in, we know what we want to do. We know we want to push these big teams and we want to get winning. We want to win trophies this year. That was the goal. And that's what we spoke about coming into this year. And I feel like as the year gone on, again, the same group of guys, the more we play together, I think it's finally starting to show. I think you were down at the game on Widnes. I think you could tell with our offense. I kind of, this past weekend was the first weekend I kind of said to myself, because we beat D-Side 9-2 the night before, and it honestly looked like an identical game, that Widnes game, to how it was down in D-Side. And it's no disrespect to D-Side or Widnes. Like, they're quality. They both have been quality sides. They both have beaten us this season already. But I think our offense is starting to click. And that's what we also spoke about, peaking at the right time. That's what it's about in ice hockey. You want to peak at the right time. And this is our group of guys. We're starting to finally peak at the right time. Our offense is starting to catch fire. And that's what I was saying to myself. I'm like, we're finally starting to click. And with the guys we have up front on the offensive end, we are very dangerous. We have a very dangerous group. Chris Sykes, again, I would say he's one of our main power through with the points. But it hasn't just been him this year. Obviously, you got Mikey and Mossy right there. They're scoring a lot of goals and putting up points this year. Those three have been absolutely tremendous to this group, and they're the big reason why this team has developed the way it is. They have a certain culture about them. Obviously, we have a winning culture, and it's all about the team at the end of the day. So those three have done an absolutely tremendous job. You got Finn Braden as well, who's scoring a lot of goals. I know he's doing well with Leeds as well. He's one of the real young talents, the really incredible young talent that I've come across in my life. The kid's got a really bright future out of him, but right now he's scoring a lot of goals for us. So are off with what those guys running leading the way. You've also got guys such as your Callum Wilkinsons, Shug Galloway. Everyone's chipping points in. I say when I look at our team, we have 3 proper lines. We've got 2 really good scoring lines and a third line that can grind and pitch goals in. They like to go to work. So up and down, and you got those 3 good lines, but you got all this young talent sprinkled in as well. So with allowing these guys to play from last season to this season, you're really showing the development of the team. Obviously on our back end as well, we're still quite a young team on the back end, but we got some good defensemen as well. James Helen, he's been putting up a ton of points for us as well. He's scoring goals consistently now. He's becoming one of the best defensemen in Billingham. So he's been doing really well. Tom Spraggett picking up where he left off last season, doing his thing, very fast, very smart player, good hands. Obviously, we got, in my opinion, one of the best imports in the league too, in Roland's Gritans. I could keep going on. Like every person in that room has come on leaps and bounds, and you could see it on the ice now, the way we're putting goals away. There's no quit in this team, and if I'm going to be honest, I'm very excited for this last half of the year, especially coming into the Cup, because in my opinion, this could be the preview of a possible playoff final as well, in my opinion. I don't really see anyone beating Solway. I don't see them slipping up. Martin Grubb would not allow that team to slip up as it is. He's too smart of a coach, and I think they're too smart of a team to allow that to happen. So I would assume they would be a pretty good bet to go all the way, but also we've beaten them as well this year. They've beaten us, they've done their thing, but we've beaten them, and we know we can beat them. So everyone in that room is ready to go. We're ready to go. We're ready to go to war, shall you say. We're ready to do the business this weekend, and who knows what's going to happen this weekend. So we're very excited, and it's nothing but positive vibes. I love the group of guys I'm playing with, and it's a very special group. And I've only been a part of a couple special groups before, and those special groups I've been part of, we've won. So this to me is a very special team. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's really cool. It's interesting what you say about the team ethic. It's becoming really clear. Like I remember, like you said, last season, the beginning of the season, you had, in reality, the only way, and it was no disrespect to the way it was playing, it was the way the squad was playing, but it was kind of, you were relying on Chris Sykes just kind of like surging through the middle of the ice, like knocking people
That's what he likes to do.
Yeah, just like, like absolute force. Yeah, exactly. But like now that you're right, Chris is still doing that and doing it amazingly. And spinning around and stuff as well, which I think adding a bit of a I don't know, panache to it. But like now, yeah, you're right. The teamwork and the way the team's playing is just, it's incredible. It's a really interesting thing, and you can see that teamwork. You really can. You can see the way it's working for the team. It's quite cool. Obviously, the team sat in second place now, I think, in the league. And like you say, the playoffs and things are the kind of probably the main focus in many respects. How is the team, like, how are the ambitions of the team in general? Obviously, you're there, you just want to win everything, I imagine. But like, how is the team? Are they kind of quite ambitious, expecting to win, wanting to win things, or how is it?
I think the belief has had to come into everyone. Like I said, I'm quite close with like I said, we're all good. We're all good in the room, but I'm quite close with some of the older boys like Mikey and Sykes and whatnot. I'm quite close with them, and we've spoken about this internally between us before. Our goal is to win, and Mikey is a tremendous captain, and that is the goal. Despite the scores, we have not played our best. And the last few games, when after the first period, sometimes we can get a bit carried away, but that's the young group. But having Mikey there, Mikey will bring everyone back in a level. Mikey will tell it how it is. And if he says it's unacceptable and it's not good enough and we're not playing, we're not defending, you know what I mean, then it's just simply not good enough to snaps the team back into it. The difference, Solway has that killer consistency. They will score, but they will not let off the gas whatsoever. They will keep going and going and going. They have no mercy. Obviously, we're still trying to find that same type of consistency. Sometimes we'll get a few goals and we'll let our foot off the gas and the game kind of drags a bit, and then it becomes a lot closer than it should be. But lately we're starting to find that consistency. And like I said, having like I said, Mikey's a tremendous voice in the room, a tremendous captain. But you got Sykes and Mossy in them. They speak up as well. It's about, like I said, those three have done a tremendous job when it comes to developing this team, keeping this team grounded, level headed. It's like, right, boys, we can go out, have a decent period, score a couple goals, but it's like, right, we have to finish this off. We cannot rest. We need to keep going. So our ambitions is to win, and I think the whole team feels that now. I truly believe everyone in that room feels like we can do this now, because obviously people will be skeptical, and I think it's taken a bit for everyone to get that same belief. But because of the belief of the vets, and I like to say because of the belief of myself, we are showing it on the ice. We're giving everything, showing it on the ice, and it's like, hey, we can do this. We can beat these teams, and I think that belief is shown against Whitley in our recent games against Whitley, knocking them out the cup and then beating them in the last few games, because they have been a thorn in our side for the past few years. They've been getting wins on us. They're a very old, experienced group, good group. So it's like it almost seemed like an impossible task type of thing. But as the time went on, the games got closer and closer, and it was only about time. And then until we finally beat them, and then we finally started getting on the roll. I think after we won, after we won that semifinal against them, things really turned around. Like, we were getting better, but I think things have really turned around. We're lighting teams up right now. Like I said, no disrespect to any of the other teams, but our offense has been teams have struggled to contain our offense, and we don't see guys second guessing anymore. We're making the passes crisp, bang, bang, bang in the net type of thing, which is what Solway has. They have that composure. They do it. They set these plays up. They look. They don't just come in, fire, and scramble. They have all these set plays. They like to look. They like to wait for their trailers and all of that. So that's the team we're trying to get to that point. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting closer and closer. And like I said, I think the way how hot we are coming into us, I think we're on about a 9-game win streak. We're scoring tons of goals. It's always scoring tons of goals. They've been beating everyone. I think coming into this is going to be a true clash of the two top titans in the league. And like I said, I'm excited to be part of it, and I think it's going to be a blast. I think the fans are going to love it, and I think it'll just be good for the league too, to show that it's not just a one-team league, one team dominating everyone. Our goal is to go down there and just give it our all, give it the best, because at the end of the day, the pressure's not on us. That's not on us at all. We know this as a group. All we have to do is show up, grind, play hard, and see what happens.
Yeah. Hockey's a strange game. Can go one way or the other very quickly. Yeah, you're right. If we talk about the coaching staff at Billingham, controversial one, I know. How's the coaching staff been in terms of shaping the team and things like that? Because the structure has just grown. You know, you can really see, like you said, those sort of setups, the attacks, the offensive play it's developed a lot more style in the last few seasons. How important has the coaching staff been?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Well, I think it's just down that we've had the same coaches for the past few seasons now. I think Fozzie's been around for 3 years. I had Rob in U20, and Rob's been introduced, I think, halfway through last season. So it's kind of the same guys. So it's kind of the same routine when we show up to practices and whatnot. It's the same routine. Obviously they've been tinkering with lines, trying to find the right combinations, trying to find what works. I think having that consistency has helped this team obviously grow instead of bouncing around between coaches and whatnot. So we know what to expect. We know what they expect. We're now starting to create plays, shall you say, specific plays, set plays we're trying to do. I think Mikey's being introduced as a player coach as well this year. So having him collaborate with the coaches as well is a big help, because at the end of the day, Mikey's on the ice playing with us. So he knows what to do, really, and that feedback helps Foz and Rob. Fozzie, his attitude kind of stays the same. Like, you never see Fozzie like his emotions flare or anything. Fozzie kind of just stays really level, which in a way is good, having a very level-headed coach. I would say Rob will kind of tell us if we're not doing well. Rob will come in the room and he will tell us, where Fozzie's like the moderator. He's kind of just a level-headed guy. Once Rob has his say, Fozzie will then come in and start bringing us back into the game plan and whatnot. So it's almost like a good cop, bad cop type of situation, but not quite. Like I said, Rob will tell us how it is, and then, like I said, Fozzie's again. He's gonna remind us of the game plan and talk about what we need to do. So like I said, they've been obviously a big part. It's a whole team effort. They've been a big part of it as well. And yeah, it's like I said, you can see on the ice, you can see the development. I think when you look at Martin Grubb, I would say Martin Grubb is probably the same. Very level-headed coach, knows how to calm the team down, how to relax. So even just having someone who's level-headed and more of a calming influence than just kicking off helps the team. Obviously, we have one coach who will tell us how it is, tell us we need to start playing and to just stop messing about and start grinding. And then and then Foz will come in, remind us of the game plan, to go over what we need to do and whatnot. So yeah, they've been tremendous. Having a player coach has been tremendous as well. And I think it's just helped the development even more, having Mikey part of the coaching staff as well. So yeah, it's been all right. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, no, fantastic. And let's talk about the final thing before, because I'm sure you're very busy with preparations for this. But let's talk about the cup final. It's just around the corner. How are you feeling about it? Are you excited, nervous, calm? I don't know. Yeah,
I'm very excited. Like I said, this is probably, like I said, my goal is to win championships. And like I said, I've won a ton of championships. As young as I am, I have a tremendous championship experience. I think the last one I won was U20 with Billingham. Obviously, I feel like with my experience, I can help bring this experience into this. Like I said, I've played against every level, played against the best guys. So as young as I am, I got a tremendous amount of championship experience, and I hate losing. The one thing about me, and my teammates know this very well about me, the people that are close to me know this about me, I do not like to lose. So I'm very excited. At the end of the day, I don't have anything to lose. Really, none of us have anything to lose. Like, we're not expected to go out and win this, win the playoffs, etc. It's always the team that's expected just to dominate and smash everyone. So pressure's on them, but they won't be feeling it either. Let's be real. I'm a realist when it comes to ice hockey. They know the job at hand. I know that team won't take us lightly because we've beaten them once already. They know they don't want to let us get hot. They've got their game plan, and I think they're just as ready to go as we are. So you're going to see a true fast-paced battle between, in my opinion, the two top hockey teams in this league. And like I said, me and the boys in that room we're itching to go. We're ready to go. We want to get to this weekend, and we just want to give it our all. Like I said, anything can happen in this sport. But like I said, my goal is to win trophies, and it will me. I'm hoping to bring back hopefully the first trophy to Billingham this year. But like I said, this is going to be. I think, like I said, this could be a possible preview of the playoff finals. And like I said, we want to give Solway to think about, even if I 100% believe we can get this job done, but we want to give them something to think about when it comes into this back half of the playoffs. We want to be on their minds. So, like I said, let's see what happens. They're an outstanding hockey team, very smart hockey team, got outstanding players, an outstanding coach, but so are we. And we're coming in really hot, and we're coming in hungry. We're very hungry right now for trophies. So, like I said, let's see what happens. I'm extremely excited. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go right now. So it's going to be a good weekend. Yeah. I'm excited for it, and I think the fans are too. We're going to have a massive fan base coming down to Dumfries, and we're going to try and make it a second home. And like I said, let's see what happens. Anything can happen, and let's see it. We're ready to make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. You are right, and it's like you said earlier. It's a great advert for the league in general, and I think it's a fair call when it comes to the playoffs. On that call, definitely two of the better teams. So it's a really awesome thing to see. That's great. And what about when it comes to preparations? Are there any extra preparations that go into? Maybe you don't want to release too much, or release any secrets or anything, but is there anything extra that's being done, any extra training, things like that for this, or is it just the same? Keep going.
It's just again, at the end of the day, it's just another hockey game. There's no secrets or anything. This is just business at the end of the day, and we're just going to come into this another hockey game for us, another hockey team, another hockey game for us, another business game, more on the line. But we don't think about that. We go out there, we play hard. We win a hockey game. We're training the same as we're training before. We're obviously all coming in to grind this week. We're trained twice on the ice, and then I think the next night we're in Dumfries, so we're going to be fresh and we're going to be ready to fly. And we just keep the things the same. You don't need to change what's working at the end of the day. And what we've been doing has been working incredibly well for us. And like I said, it's another hockey game. We're just going to come into this. This is another hockey game for us. Our only focus is come in, work as hard as possible, and see what happens at the end of the day. So that's it. That's our game plan. Like I said, the team's ready. I believe in the boys. We are ready to go. So we're ready to put on a good show and a good show for the crowd. And it's going to be an absolute battle. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it. We're looking forward to testing ourselves against the true top dogs of the league and see what happens.
Yeah, that's really cool. Tom, I'm gonna leave you there because I'm sure you've got enough to be getting on with and maybe
No,
relaxing now. I don't know.
yeah, I know. I've talked enough.
No, it's awesome.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
great, mate. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's better to have someone who comes on who's happy to talk rather than someone. Yeah, honestly,
Like I said, this is what I do. Ice hockey's the thing I do. So you know what I mean. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been great. It's been great to come on. So thank you so much.